France announces that it is going to make a huge push in an attempt to become the leader of AI companies in the world. A very big deal, even going so far as to announce that they are going to lessen the restrictions and around the legal requirements for their nation for AI companies. So this is a very big deal. It could be a very important thing because as far as restrictions and requirements put forward by nations for AI companies, it's kind of a if we all stand together type thing, then we'll all do it together. Each country will follow suit. But if one nation starts loosening its requirements and restrictions and all that kind of stuff, then more nations tend to follow suit because obviously that country will it'll be the threat of that country actually gaining more traction than everyone else. It's kind of an all or nothing arms race right now, but we'll go ahead and jump into this article. It says France makes high profile push to be the AI hub of Europe, setting up challenge to US, China. And it starts off, Paris, France is making a major push to position itself as Europe's hub for artificial intelligence, throwing its weight behind the fast-growing and much-hyped technology. I think we are number one in AI in continental Europe, and we have to accelerate, French president told CNBC's Karen Tsao last week. Countries are looking to position themselves as AI hubs because the technology is seen as revolutionary and therefore of strategic importance to governments around the world. AI is viewed as impacting industries from finance to healthcare, but has also been caught in the middle of the broader technology battle playing out between China and the US. Hype around AI has been partly sparked by the viral nature of US firm OpenAI's ChatGPT chatbot, which we know Sam Altman just finished up a tour all through that area to discuss restrictions and requirements and limitations that are put forward by nations and how to properly do it. AI was the phrase on everyone's lips at France's annual technology conference, Viva Tech, from startups to established technology firms, along with companies from industries as diverse as cosmetics and banking. Macron, French finance minister and digital minister, attended the event, adding the government's backing to France's tech push. We will invest like crazy on training and research, Macron told CNBC, adding that France is well positioned in AI due to its access to talent and startups forming around the technology. While the U.S. is seen as the leader in AI by many measures, France hopes to catch up. Believe me, this is clear that the U.S. is number one for good reason because it is a huge domestic market. I want us to clearly bridge the gap and invest much more, develop much more, and accelerate much more. Paris ambitions face tough competition even within the European Union. France definitely has a chance to be the leader in Europe, but it faces stiff competition from Germany and the UK. Co-director of the Johns Hopkins Institute for Assured Autonomy told CNBC via email. UK Prime Minister in the past week made his pitch for Britain to become a global AI center. They said that for France to find success, it will need to use AI to build on the economic areas it's already strong in, such as manufacturing and pharmaceutical. It's a key time to be strategic to identify specific areas of distinct competency and invest heavily in AI to build an edge. And so there's much movement going on, and they are very, very interested in becoming very aggressive in how they handle this. Regulation in focus is where I wanted to highlight here. Part of France's pitch to be an AI hub leads on regulation around the technology. The European Parliament greenlit the EU AI Act, a wide-sweeping first-of-its-kind regulation on artificial intelligence. It is not yet law, but if passed, would bring a risk-based approach to regulation across the EU. France has typically been seen as a proponent of strong regulation in technology, but it has taken issue with parts of the EU AI Act related to generative AI, the type of technology that underpins OpenAI's ChatGPT, which it sees as too stringent. My worry is that in the recent past few weeks, can't read this morning apparently, the EU Parliament has taken a very sort of strong stance on AI regulation, using in some sense this AI AI Act as a way to try and solve too many problems at once, France's digital prime minister said on the provisions around generative AI. Apparently, I can't read it all. Jeez. France desires a global regulation on AI, which it hopes to achieve through the G7 group that includes the U.S. and Britain, as well as the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. From my point of view, I think we do need a regulation, and all the players, even the U.S. players, agree with that. I think we need a global regulation, Macron said. So they are pushing against the EU Act that is part of it. And basically what this does is it just adds more uneasiness across the board. If more nations follow suit, then no regulation will be put into place. Because they're going to have uneasiness around the whole entire thing. If they're pushing in a different direction, other nations will push in a different direction, and it kind of puts the pause on everything as they discuss what to do. Because all this stuff about going to the G7 group and all that all takes more time. It all takes more more conversation. It makes everyone else feel uneasy about the other decisions they're making. And so clearly what they're trying to do is they are trying to set themselves up as, friendly towards any kind of AI operation and push in that direction. And we'll see how it plays out. I don't know if it is possible being over there. This could add even more uneasiness for the EU AI Act that they are trying to pass currently. It's not yet law, so there's still some time yet to go with that. I don't know. I haven't really read as far as what is in the EU AI Act, so I'll have to do my research into that and see what it is they're trying to do, and maybe see if I can see what they feel like is too stringent in that policy. I know Sam Altman has taken a lot of interest over there and trying to make them structure what he would call a more appropriate policy, something that's actually useful in their eyes. But that's always questionable when you got the leader of the company making the product trying to tell you how to structure your regulation around it. But it says U.S. seen as the frenemy. France sees the U.S. as both a rival and an ally. French and European companies will try to compete with U.S. giants like Microsoft and Google, but Washington's buy-in is required for any kind of global regulation. Competition is always a good thing, so we have a very close cooperation with the U.S., but we also want to get access to our own AI intelligence and companies. So I think that having a fair competition between the U.S. and Europe, and also a cooperation on some key devices, is good for the U.S. and good for Europe. French finance minister told CNBC. Yeah, but this right here, we also want to get access to our own AI intelligence and companies, and so we'll see how nice the U.S. chooses to play with them in that. The U.S. is good on regulating stuff. We want to regulate stuff, but we want to regulate stuff, and we collect all the intelligence. That's what we want to do. So we'll see how that goes. On regulation as well, I think this is absolutely vital to have an in-depth discussion with the American authorities on the best way of regulating artificial intelligence. And so very, very interesting what they're trying to do. They want to cooperate with the U.S. in attempts to grow into or get as close as they can to being an AI leader to the same level that the U.S. is doing right now. And so we'll see how this plays out. I'm curious to see what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think that it's possible for France to achieve that, especially being so close, obviously, to these other nations that are trying the same thing, like UK and Germany, and all the competitiveness and cooperation it requires from them in order to play nice in that area. I'm curious to see what you guys think below. So I hope this was interesting. This is very interesting to me. I'm gonna have to do more research into what the AI Act is. Does anyone know if the EU AI Act if there's something that's really crazy written in there, if it would be too stringent, or do you think that there's something else going on? If anyone does know that, let me know in the comment section below. I'm curious to see what that's all about. But please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will keep an eye on this as it continues to go. I am definitely interested to see what takes place after this. So all right guys, hope you have a good day. I'll catch you on the next one.